The late Middle Ages witnessed the rise of many powerful entities in Europe, each vying for dominance and influence in a rapidly changing world. Few were as fascinating or influential as the Duchy of Burgundy, a region that would come to play a pivotal role in European history. Welcome to Cryptic Mystic Vault, where we explore the enigmatic tales and unsolved puzzles of history. From its humble beginnings as a French fiefdom, Burgundy, under the ambitious rule of the Valois-Burgundy dynasty, grew to encompass a vast and prosperous territory, expanding its influence far beyond its original borders. This included not only the heartland of Burgundy itself, but also wealthy provinces like Flanders and Artois, regions known for their economic vitality and strategic importance. These lands, strategically positioned across modern-day France, Belgium and the Netherlands, were economic powerhouses, crucial to the trade networks that spanned the continent. They were renowned for their textile industries, vibrant cities and sophisticated courtly life, which attracted merchants, artisans and nobles from all over Europe. Burgundy's growth was not simply a matter of chance or luck. It was the result of shrewd political maneuvering, strategic marriages, and occasionally ruthless military campaigns that expanded their territory and influence. The Dukes of Burgundy, starting with Philip the Bold, understood the art of power and governance. They played the complex game of European politics with skill, amassing lands and influence through diplomacy and strategic alliances. This made them a force to be reckoned with, both feared and respected by their contemporaries. By the 15th century, the Dukes of Burgundy were more than mere vassals of the French king. They were autonomous rulers with their own ambitions. They were powerful princes in their own right, commanding vast resources and loyal armies. They rivaled the greatest rulers of Europe in terms of wealth and influence, often outshining their peers in splendor and power. The acquisition of Flanders, with its booming cloth trade, was a turning point that significantly boosted their economic strength. It transformed the duchy into an economic powerhouse, central to the trade routes that connected Europe. The Burgundian court became a magnet for artists, musicians and intellectuals, further enhancing the prestige and cultural influence of the dukes. The splendor of the Burgundian court rivaled that of any other in Europe, known for its opulence and cultural achievements. This newfound wealth and influence brought the Dukes of Burgundy into direct competition with their overlords, the kings of France, setting the stage for a tumultuous relationship that would shape the future of the region. The relationship between the Dukes of Burgundy and the French monarchy was complex and often fraught with tension. The intricate dance of power and politics between these two entities was a defining feature of medieval French history. On the one hand, the dukes were vassals of the French crown. They owed allegiance and military service to the king, a duty that was both a privilege and a burden. On the other hand, the Dukes of Burgundy, with their vast territories and independent power base, increasingly saw themselves as equals to the French king. Their ambitions often clashed with their obligations. This dynamic created a constant undercurrent of suspicion and rivalry between the two. The French crown viewed the Burgundian power with a wary eye, always alert to potential threats. The Hundred Years' War, which raged between England and France for much of the 14th and 15th centuries, further complicated this relationship. The war provided both an opportunity and a challenge for the Burgundian dukes. The Dukes of Burgundy found themselves in a difficult position. They had to navigate the treacherous waters of loyalty and self-interest. They were torn between their loyalty to the French crown and their own strategic interests. This duality often led to conflicting actions and alliances. At times, the dukes sided with the French. These moments of cooperation were often driven by immediate necessity rather than genuine loyalty. However, they also formed alliances with the English when it suited their purposes. These shifting allegiances were a hallmark of Burgundian strategy. This duplicitous, or simply pragmatic, approach further strained their relationship with the French crown. The French monarchy found it increasingly difficult to trust the Burgundian dukes. The reign of Charles VII of France marked a low point in this relationship. His efforts to consolidate power were met with resistance from the Burgundian dukes. Charles, determined to assert his authority over his powerful vassals, viewed the Dukes of Burgundy with suspicion. His mistrust was fueled by their frequent betrayals and shifting loyalties. This suspicion was not entirely unfounded. The Burgundian dukes had a history of acting in their own interest, often at the expense of the French crown. The Burgundian duke at the time, Philip the Good, was a shrewd and ambitious ruler. His political maneuvers were calculated and often ruthless. He was not afraid to use any means necessary to further his own interests, even if it meant siding with the English against his own king. His alliances were always strategic, never sentimental. This period of open hostility culminated in the assassination of John the Fearless, Philip the Good's father, by agents of the French crown. This brutal act was a turning point in their relations. This act shattered any pretense of trust between the two and set the stage for decades of conflict. The enmity between the French crown and the Dukes of Burgundy would shape the course of French history for years to come. Philip the Good, Duke of Burgundy from 1419 to 1467, stands out as one of the most significant figures in Burgundian history. His reign marked a transformative period for Burgundy, shaping its destiny for generations to come. He inherited a duchy on the brink of war, a land fraught with turmoil and uncertainty. His father, John the Fearless, had been brutally assassinated, and the relationship with France was in tatters, leaving Philip with a fractured realm. However, Philip was a skilled diplomat and a ruthless pragmatist, adept at navigating the treacherous waters of medieval politics. He used this tumultuous period to further consolidate his power and expand his domains, seizing opportunities where others saw only chaos. Philip understood that Burgundy's future lay in independence, free from external control and influence. He knew he could not achieve his ambitious goals while remaining subservient to the French crown, which sought to dominate Burgundy. He needed to break free from the shackles of French overlordship to carve out a path for Burgundy's sovereignty. To achieve this, he embarked on a calculated campaign to elevate Burgundy's status, both politically and militarily. He cultivated alliances with other European powers, particularly England, which was still embroiled in the 100 Years' War with France. Leveraging these relationships to his advantage, his goal was to create a network of alliances that would protect him from French aggression and allow him to pursue his own ambitions unchecked, ensuring Burgundy's security and prosperity. One of his most significant achievements was the creation of a Burgundian state apparatus, a structured and efficient government. He established a centralized administration, bringing order and stability to his territories. He reformed the legal system, ensuring justice and fairness within his domains. And he fostered economic growth within his domains, encouraging trade and commerce. He understood that true power stemmed not just from military might, but also from economic prosperity and a well-governed state, laying the foundation for a thriving Burgundy. Imagine a different outcome to the Treaty of Arras. In our timeline, the treaty, signed in 1435, sought to mend the fractured relationship between Burgundy and France. But what if it hadn't? What if instead of aligning with France, Burgundy had forged stronger ties with England? This alternate history would have dramatically shifted the balance of power in Europe. Instead of being a mere player in the shadows of larger powers, Burgundy could have emerged as a formidable force, its ambitions unchecked. An Anglo-Burgundian alliance would have created a new power bloc capable of challenging France on multiple fronts. The 100 Years' War, already a grueling conflict, might have extended even further, plunging Europe into prolonged periods of warfare. This alternate alliance might have delayed the centralization of power in France, altering its trajectory and delaying the rise of a unified French state. The consequences would ripple across the continent, impacting not just politics, but culture and society as well. A prolonged conflict could have delayed the Renaissance, as resources and attention remained focused on warfare. The flourishing of arts and sciences might have been stunted, and the cultural rebirth that defined the era might have emerged much later, if at all. In this alternate history, Burgundy might have risen to dominate Western Europe, its influence spreading far and wide. The Burgundian court, already a center of wealth and culture, could have become the heart of a new European order, dictating the terms of alliances, wars, and peace. The political landscape of Europe would be vastly different, with Burgundy standing as a dominant power, its legacy shaping the course of history in ways we can only imagine. This scenario reminds us of the delicate balance of power in medieval Europe and how a single treaty could alter the destiny of nations. What if Burgundy had taken a different path? Would Europe as we know it today even exist? The possibilities are endless, and the history of Burgundy serves as a testament to the intricate web of politics, power and ambition that has always defined our world. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more mind-blowing discoveries and thrilling adventures into the past.